What's going on, everyone? Matthew Osborn here, and today we are joined by Eddie and Marcia, also known as the Hello Kitty Dealers on Instagram. And we're going to dive into their Amazon business, how they started it fairly recently and have grown it to the point they have today. So how are you guys doing?
We're doing real good. Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for joining. We just met up for the first time in person in New York this past week for Reezy Resells event. That was a good time out in New York. For any of you guys that haven't been to our past meetups, check out on the Book Flipper community group. We normally post those. So definitely try and look out for those. It's a really good time meeting with other sellers like these two right here, where you can kind of learn other business models and see what others are doing. And I don't know if any of you booksellers knew this, but it's not exactly a super popular thing to sell books on Amazon. So you can feel left out a lot when no one knows what your business model is or how you're doing your business. But it's good to connect with other booksellers and see what others are doing. So take us back a little bit. You guys started selling on Amazon like what, 8 months ago? You said 9 months ago?
I think this is
7.
yeah. We just completed our 7th month on Amazon, but we've been reselling since November.
Yeah.
So it'll be a year and about in November. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So you guys do you currently own a gym as well?
Yeah. So
Or did you?
A little bit of background on that. I own 2 Muay Thai gyms. For those of you who don't know what that is, Muay Thai is basically kickboxing, but it's a national sport of Thailand. I've been doing that for 15 years, and I've been an entrepreneur now for just over 6 years.
Okay. So what made you want to go from owning 2 gyms instead of like opening up a third or a fourth? What made you go into selling on Amazon instead?
Well,
It's a long story.
thankfully, we blocked off some time to get into all this. So we were actually in the process of opening up a 3rd gym. We've been looking into that for the past year or so, and it's something that we're actively doing. Luckily for me, that I have a business partner. He's actually my best friend, and he's our attorney as well, our lawyer. And we have around 14 staff members at both locations. So
awesome.
It allows me to do pretty much whatever I want during the day. But yeah, we're actively looking for a 3rd location. The goal is to have five gyms. And
just what 5? Just a number that sounded good, or?
No, I think 5 is a manageable number between my partners and myself to be able to manage, not relatively easily, but I think it'll be doable. And also with we're looking at maps and trying to cover certain geographic areas without spreading ourselves too thin. And I think that 5 would be a good number without having each gym like feeding off of each other or taking business away from each other. So I think that 5 manageable within the New York City tri-state area is a good number for us.
That's awesome. So you basically made this kind of almost not completely passive, I take it, but passive enough that you guys had enough time to be able to start another business, which is selling on Amazon, right?
Absolutely. I met Caleb at Bust Proof Live, and just the name alone started making me think, the business that we're in isn't really bust proof, because if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, it can certainly still stay on its own and stay alive for a little bit, but I don't think that it would be exactly the same. So that's kind of like what we were looking for with the reselling business, something that we can actually, where we can actually create some passive income and not have to, be there every single day and run all the tedious stuff that goes into, running a business.
Interesting. So you guys looked through probably a few different business models and you kind of settled on at Amazon, and reselling seems to be what made most sense to you?
Absolutely.
We started reselling. We started
with Poshmark, eBay, like all those other apps like Mercari, but we just found books to be the simplest, I guess.
Yeah. We started thrifting and doing a lot of retail arbitrage and stuff like that.
There's more potential to scale with this than other items and other things.
She took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly.
But us though, like it might not apply to other people, but for us, it worked out. That books.
Yeah, I mean, we see a bunch of people doing some big numbers and making huge strides in business with thrifting and lots of retail arbitrage. But like, we were doing a deep dive and really trying to figure out, okay, how can we automate this, or how can we scale this? And we found it really hard, because a lot of times when you're doing RA or thrifting or just any type of reselling, the decision to buy a product can can be a huge failure or a huge or a huge success, right? And a lot of times we found that if it wasn't us making that buying decision, that maybe, you know, it wouldn't have been the best decision. And it's not really something that we thought that we can scale like we can do with books.
Yeah. So did you start out somewhere else first doing your reselling and then move to books? That's kind of what the journey was for you guys?
Yeah.
And books just seemed more controllable and scalable for you?
Absolutely. So we discovered Reezy through Gary Vee, and she was still going to school full time. So we were looking for something that she can do and I could help her with, where it would be a little bit, I guess, easier with her schedule since she is going to school full time. And we just bought a house, and so we were just looking for
congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
We were looking for something that was going to fit into her schedule that we can do and kind of run on our own time. And just reselling just kind of seemed like the thing that really appealed to us the most, you know. And so we got into the main platform that we were using was Poshmark and eBay, right? We did a little Mercari, but it was mainly Poshmark and eBay.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of it was clothing from thrift stores, a lot of new stuff from Marshalls, lots of sneakers, yeah, that kind of stuff. And it was great. It was great. We started making money right away. We found we like the freedom, obviously, of you know, running our own business and kind of making our own hours and pretty much doing it when we wanted. And just like with anything else, you know, we would see a lot of results when you put more time into it. But again, having that flexibility with her schedule just really appealed to us.
Yeah, and starting out with clothing and stuff like that with eBay, I'm guessing you're taking individual photos of every single product, and individual listings, and
Yeah, it takes a lot of work.
I felt bad for her. She was doing all that stuff. She was running and managing the whole thing. All I was doing was buying things.
Yeah, she would come home with so many more things, and yeah, I couldn't keep up.
I never scaled an eBay business, but I did sell a few things on eBay. And even selling a few things, it was tiring creating individual listings and taking pictures and everything. It probably was refreshing figuring out Amazon and books that you don't need to take a picture of every single book and make a separate listing for everything. And
you know, it's funny because what led us to books was in our head, we were like, okay, maybe we can scale this thing a little bit easier, going wholesale or just buying in bulk, brand new items, and then selling them on Amazon. But very much like a lot of new sellers on Amazon, you quickly find out that you're gated on a lot of brands and categories. So books for us was a way to get ungated, right? And that was the initial idea, right? That was our plan. But, you know, we all know that when you're an entrepreneur, when you own a business, things change all the time. And it's really funny and crazy how like we had our vision when we first started doing it compared to what it is now. It's completely different, night and day. I mean, not like absolutely no similarities to, you know, the route that we're heading on and the route that we wanted to head on when we first started.
Yeah. All right. So before we go any further, I got a question for you. So you're a military veteran, right? Marine Corps?
Yes, sir.
Right. And then you own 2 kickboxing gyms right now?
Yes, sir.
Right. And your name is the Hello Kitty dealer with the pink little kitty on Instagram. So how does that all connect right now? Where did that all come from for you guys?
I'll let this young lady take it over from there.
I made the account when we started doing, because it was supposed to be my thing, you know.
Okay, so I was wondering if it was originally yours. Then gotcha.
Yeah, so it was originally mine, but I'm not very good with. I don't go on Instagram much. I don't do social media much. But he does it for work all the time, so he's already on it all the time. So then he kind of took over. So and then we both ended up being Hello Kitty.
You know, we were just looking for something, just a random name that was a little bit catchy.
And then saying that Hello Kitty is really popular. You know, it's like a collectible items and stuff. So it was something quick. I'm Japanese. Hello Kitty's Japanese. I don't know. It was a joke at first. We seriously didn't think it was, you know, it was like a temporary thing. And then we started getting followers.
So you started managing that account, and now Eddie kind of manages the Instagram account? Or do you both kind of do it right now?
A little bit of both. It's both of us. But the original idea was to just leave it up there because it was kind of like a temporary, kind of just quick decision that we decided to name the Instagram account Hello Kitty Dealer.
Yeah.
we were like, yeah, we're gonna change it. We're gonna change
Yeah.
it. But I think at this point it'd be stupid to change it.
Oh, it'd be stupid. Everyone knows Hello Kitty dealer.
Associating us with Hello Kitty, so we just ended up keeping it.
Everyone else is flipping or reselling or something along with books. Hello Kitty dealer just stands out from the crowd. Everyone knows who that is.
Don't have anything Hello Kitty, or I'm not into Hello Kitty at all.
You would think that walking into our house, you'd find Hello Kitty stuff everywhere. I don't think there's one thing. Nothing.
I think you guys need to go all out with this and get like a neon Hello Kitty sign, put it in the office, just go all out.
We were debating because we just bought a Ford Transit, a cargo van, to help us with the business.
Oh, you gotta wrap that.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap.
There's gonna be a kitty there.
The only thing that's holding me back is I have pretty bad road rage. So I don't. I think that if I cut somebody off, somebody cuts me off there, I'm gonna find the van all keyed up one day. So I'll just probably leave it blank for now.
All right, that answers that question, and then a little bit. So,
yeah, hold on real quick. We have like just over 1,000 followers on Instagram. So for those of you who don't know who we are, I am not a 19-year-old Japanese girl who's into Hello Kitty. Okay, just wanted to throw that out there.
I did not, because you guys normally don't post pictures of yourselves on Instagram, and you just post pictures of your books and stuff. I saw Hello Kitty dealer, and I remember I started seeing that name pop up after the Bus Proof event, because like Caleb and stuff met you guys. And I was like, who's this Hello Kitty dealer? And then Caleb said something about, I think he was talking about you, Eddie, and I was like, wait, it's a guy? Is the Hello Kitty dealer? I was thinking it was like a teenage girl somewhere or something like that. And then it got even more confusing. So I'm glad you explained that for me. That kind of makes a little more sense now. I really think you guys need to go all out and get the neon sign and everything.
Speaking of Bus Proof Live, Bus Proof Live was the place where I met a lot of these people in our circle for the first time in person. I met Caleb, Dave Chung, and Romer, and a bunch of other people too. But Romer, him and I have been messaging back and forth on Instagram a little bit. And again, we never really shown our face, just because it wasn't about our faces. It was supposed to be about flipping and about, selling books and about the journey and to stay motivated, right? And again, he thought the same thing. So I told him, hey, I'm going to see you at Bus Proof Live. So we're in line to use the bathroom, and I'm coming out of the bathroom. He's never met me before. And I go up to him, hey, what's up, brother? I'm Eddie, Hello Kitty dealer. And he's giving me a weird look. And then sure enough, afterwards, he's like, yeah, I was expecting some like weirdo to come up to me, like a 17-year-old Japanese girl to come up to me like, hey, I'm not some 40-year-old dude with tattoos everywhere.
No, that's awesome. I love that. All right, so you guys run this business together, then your Amazon side of the business. I'm just curious, how is it running a business with your significant other? Now you guys are recently engaged, right? I don't think we talked about that yet. Recently engaged, right?
Yeah, we
you have a ring to show, right? A ring to show?
I forgot to wear it.
We'll take your word for it, though. So recently engaged and stuff. How is it running a business with your significant other? You guys see eye to eye most things on business? You kind of even each other out, or how does that work?
I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm gonna let her talk about this. It is a challenge for sure. But yeah, you can chime in a little bit on that.
I don't know. We're complete opposites. I think our skills, like what we're good at, we complement each other, because what he's good at, that's my weakness. What I'm good at, it's his weakness. So we just naturally kind of went into our roles without even discussing about it. Because I think when you're getting into starting a business with somebody else, I think it's important to decide what each of your roles are, so you don't step onto each other's. So we naturally kind of fell into our roles because of our skills, and we don't ever fight or anything with the business. No. We do talk a lot though. We discuss a lot. But I trust his abilities and like what he's good at, so I don't ever question or anything. If something concerns me, I'll bring it up, but we also make sure that our relationship comes first, not the business. So if there's something that makes one of us uncomfortable or something, we don't, we'll squash that right away. So
yeah,
I think it's, we get messages a lot on Instagram from other reselling couples or like, girlfriends or boyfriends of, people that are trying to do this together. And they're always asking us, similar questions like, how do you guys do it? Do you guys have issues? And it's funny, at the Brooklyn meetup, we met another guy. I forget his name, but he was the Irish dude. He's a really nice guy.
Oh, Shane.
Oh,
there we go, Shane.
Hi,
Yep.
Shane.
Hey, Shane. What's up?
Dash.
That's
is
it.
that Paper Profit? Is that his?
Yes.
Okay, Paper Profits. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just happened to be sitting across from us, and we started talking, and he's telling us that I think his girlfriend found our account, and they got excited because they're a couple, and they found us, and we're a couple doing it. But I think it's extremely important that before you decide to go into business with your significant other, that you make sure that your relationship is rock solid. It needs to be. You need to make sure that your relationship is at a point where you can handle stress, you can handle anxiety, you can handle issues and problems that are inevitably going to pop up, and that it doesn't affect your personal relationship or your romantic relationship. Because the last thing you want to do, we all know, if you work with your significant other and you have problems at the job, you're going to bring problems back home. It's going to happen, you know. Yeah. So it's extremely important to make sure that you guys have a good relationship and you respect each other's boundaries. And that, and that you know how to interact with each other in a professional way, you know, because it is a business, and you got to try not to let personal things get into the way. But it also works on the other hand too, right? On your personal relationship, you got to try to draw the line somewhere and make sure that the business isn't putting any extra stress on your relationship, you know.
For example, when we're fighting is normal in a relationship. If you're not fighting, it's not a real relationship. So when we're fighting, you know, we don't want to talk to each other, but he'll still send me like business related texts, like,
gotta go pick up this order today.
Yeah, like completely separate from our, you know. So we need to keep that. That's how we keep the business going, even though some days we want to kill each other.
and you know, I can't harp on that enough. Got to make sure that your relationship is rock solid. Or if it's not there, the last thing you want to do, don't think that starting a business together is going to bring you guys closer. It's going to create more challenges. And you got to, like I said, just make sure that your significant other is happy and you guys are both happy, and talk about things, right? You got to talk about, like what she was saying, your responsibilities and your roles.
Yeah,
because,
and
you know,
I would never question what he's doing, or, you know, and if I do, I'll approach him, but in a respectful way, not in like a rude, like, what are you doing kind of thing. And same with him. He never questions what I'm doing. If things are going smoothly, then we just let each other do our own job. Like, he kind of does front of the house and I do most of the back of the house, and, you know, we keep it at that.
And that was an issue for me because I'm a control freak. I want to do everything myself. You know, what does Caleb always say? He says, don't trade your time for money, right? And, you know, trying to have your hand in every single aspect of the business, you're just gonna hold things back. So, you know, that for me, it's always a challenge until I trust people in order to, you know, do their duties. But again, when you're trying to reach certain goals and get to a certain level, or you know, grow the business and scale, you have to have confidence in people, and you have to have trust in people in order to you know, let go of that stranglehold that you have on your business, you know, because you're going to be limiting your own growth if you don't do that.
And I think, like, not just with relationship business, but just like a business partner in general. I think you guys need to have same like vision, you know, of where you want this to go. And especially with this business, because there's nobody watching over your back telling you what to do. So, you know, we're both extremely self-disciplined. You know, we're both martial artists. We know how to self-motivate. So yeah, that's another thing. Like, we never think that we're working less than each other or anything.
Yeah, work ethic is not an issue with us. We're working all the damn time, man. Sometimes she has to stop me. Hey, it's 4 a.m. It's 2 a.m. What are you still doing? Yeah, we're both workhorses. I mean, we get up in the first, we're not even out of bed yet, and we're already talking about, you know, what needs to get done for the day. And yeah.
But it's good to have off days too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I love how you guys describe that relationship aspect, because everyone always thinks it's maybe interesting getting into business with your significant other or something like that. But there's a weird there's a weird overlap with a business relationship, a business partner relationship, and that relationship with your significant other. Because like you're making financial decisions together, sharing finances. There's all these day-to-day decisions you're making. There's a huge overlap. So it almost makes sense sometimes to go into a business with your significant other, since a normal business partner relationship has a ton of those already embedded in with it. And I really like what you said. I found this with Caleb and myself too, is that like you're naturally kind of good at two different things, which like in a relationship, they always say opposites attract, right? So you're naturally good at two different things that causes conflict, but yet that also makes the business run smoothly, because there's no businesses that fail quicker than people that are completely aligned in one direction and then they all go off one way and no one's there to balance them out, right?
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
And you know, like I'm glad you brought that up too, because like she's really good. I'm not the most organized person in the world, where I have a lot of drive and ambition and unlimited energy to go out there and hustle, you know, without being organized or without tightening up your the back end of the house. All that hustle is going to go, you know, to waste, because you're gonna drive, and then the rest of the business is a massive mess, you know. So like she's really good with organizational skills. She's really good with like staying on time and schedules and managing employees, where that's not really my strong suit. You know, I'm a Marine, and I'm more militant than anything else. It doesn't always translate to every single employee. So again, this is just our give and our take. Like she handles all that stuff, and I just make sure that we're constantly pushing and moving forward.
Yeah. So let's take it back to when you guys started selling books. You started cherry picking, you said, right? Going out thrift stores and stuff like that, scanning books. That's almost where everyone else starts. They start with a phone, a scanner and stuff, go out and cherry pick. They do that for a little while, and then their business kind of hits a plateau. They don't know where to go from there. You guys have obviously gotten past that plateau. How did you guys get from just cherry picking and being limited by your time every single day you have to now where you are doing more of a bulk type model, having employees and scaling from there? Where did that shift happen from cherry picking on?
I never thought about that.
I would definitely say that there was a complete shift in our focus after we went to that the Busproof Live event.
So you were cherry picking before the Busproof Live event, right? That's when you kind of started and got into okay.
Strictly cherry picking, nothing else. We weren't doing any bulk, no networking, nothing else. It was just strictly going to thrift stores and, you know, library sales and wherever else we could find that was selling books. And some, for anyone watching this who's wondering what they can do to increase their business or to get some inspiration or just to get ideas, is definitely go. I haven't been to the Turn the Page event just yet. We're possibly debating going to the one in October in Atlanta, because we're going to be somewhat in the area. We don't know just yet, but I would say that our business completely changed after we went to that first booksellers networking event.
Oh yeah, opened your eyes.
100%. It was a 3-day event, I believe it was. And again, like I mentioned before, I got to meet Caleb in person, Dave Chung, Romer, this guy Brad, a bunch of people who are all doing like huge numbers and doing things differently. And I think that once we went to that networking event, it really opened up my eyes to a lot of things, got a lot of good ideas, and then we brought it back home and kind of put our own little spin on it. And then it's been nothing but uphill since then.
Yeah. So that event was kind of a turning point for you then. So you were cherry picking before the event. What did you guys start doing differently? Did you start trying to build relationships? How did you kind of go about that?
Relationships, for sure. I think that's the main key, like networking. And you seriously never know where you'll meet people. Like you'll network with somebody and then maybe like a friend or a brother-in-law or somebody they went to high school with, you know, like you might help us or give us valuable information. Like you never know. We've been very fortunate to meet people so randomly, but they've been so valuable.
I tell you one thing, at the Busproof Live event that we went to, there was probably 25 or 30 other resellers there, a bunch of speakers. And again, I mentioned it was a 3-day event. So, you know, each day started at 9 or 10 a.m. and you're there till 5, 6 o'clock. And then you're in Ohio. I'm not from Ohio. I didn't know anybody over there. So like, you know, what does everybody tell you to do? Go, shake hands, meet people. And going there, I knew that I was going to meet Dave Chung. I knew that I was going to meet Caleb and Romer and everybody else. And I had a little bit of anxiety because like, man, I have to get in front of these guys. The moment we break for lunch, I got to make sure I'm with them, right? because
Yeah.
I knew that there was going to be 30 other sellers. And in my head, I'm thinking, wow, the moment there's a break, everyone's going to swarm Caleb. Everyone's going to swarm Dave and swarm Avery Romer. And so I need to make sure that I'm one of the first ones there. So wherever we go, we go together, and I make sure that I'm part of that circle, right? And to my surprise, every time we would have a coffee break or a lunch break or anything like that, these three big guys that we're talking about who are big personalities in the book selling world, nobody was talking to them. We would all go out to lunch and barely anybody would come. And I'm looking around watching these people, and everyone just kind of stuck to themselves. Nobody was really trying to network. They were just more interested in the content that the speakers were giving, right? But look, the content was great. Ideas were great. I took a lot of notes, but all of the value of going to one of those events is shaking hands and meeting people who are way above you, who are way ahead of what you're doing. So you can sit there and get some good ideas and get some inspiration and learn the mistakes that they've made so you can put them into your business, implement them into your business. And to my surprise, like I said, nobody was bothering these dudes. I was in their face the whole time. If I thought, who's this annoying Hello Kitty dealer? Get him out of here.
But hey, it worked. Like I said, that's when I saw Hello Kitty dealers start popping up, was after that event, because you made impressions on Avery and Caleb and the other guys that were there. So it worked. Your plan paid off.
Absolutely, man.
Awesome. So you started building relationships. Did you guys go straight to bulk from there? Did you stop cherry picking, go straight to bulk? Or what kind of was your path up to where you are right now?
We started doing the bulk, and then we just got so busy with that we completely forgot about cherry picking for a little bit.
It takes quite a bit of time, right?
Yeah, and so that's the reason why we hired a scouter, and we have him cherry pick now, and we only go. How often do we go cherry pick?
Once or twice a week. I mean, we're definitely running a hybrid model now. We haven't completely dismissed cherry picking, but what we've done is that we've incorporated our networking capabilities with cherry picking. So we're not just going to random. I can't even tell you the last time I've even stepped foot in a thrift store. When was the last time I went to a thrift store? I mean, I think we went to Savers like 3 months ago because we were like driving by and bored, and we're like, let's just go in, and we scored like, I don't know, 50 bucks, something like that, maybe less.
I can't remember.
But again, we're like, it's not worth our time, and the prices are really too high. And so what we've done is we do cherry pick, but we're cherry picking now weekly honey holes that we get like backroom access to, or we're cherry picking sources that other resellers aren't going to, and we've found them through networking, cold calling, and the one most important thing you have to do in this business, not this kind of FaceTime, but this kind of FaceTime. Showing up, shaking hands, meeting people in person.
We always go together and introduce ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That goes way longer and way farther than sending an email or even a cold call. I'm not dismissing those things because we still do them very, very actively, but there's nothing better than showing up in person and letting the person that you're trying to incorporate into your network see and feel your enthusiasm for what you're doing, And if I can get in front of somebody, if I can get in front of the decision maker, I'm not walking away with unless yes is the answer. And 100% of the time, they're always saying yes. But again, that's not going to happen unless you're showing up.
Because they need to close down for the day and you're still in there. They're like, all right, fine, yes.
We get kicked out of every one. Like, guys, it's time to go. Like, hey, hold on. We got one more shelf.
That's awesome. So you guys have a scouter now, and from what I've seen on Instagram, it looks like they're doing very well with how much they're finding and what they're bringing back to you guys. Was it difficult to find someone trustworthy that you guys were able to teach how to do this, or how did you go about hiring that scouter? People struggle there a lot.
It's extremely difficult. It really is. This is our second scouter, or second? Second scouter. The first one
didn't work out.
The first one lasted a week. And
it seems about normal, a week or 2 weeks, and steam goes out. And
then gone. Now the guy that we have right now, he's actually a childhood friend of mine. He has worked for me in the past with my other businesses, the martial arts, the Muay Thai gyms and stuff. And I would say that for anyone looking for a scouter, it takes a certain personality. This isn't a job that you can just put on Craigslist. I know people say, "Oh, put up an ad," but
you need to choose the right person for it. Like, you can't just of anybody.
No, you need to look out for a certain type of individual. This is, you know, to do this job, you need somebody who's a self-starter, who's motivated, and you know, there's also the risk of someone turning, you know, taking what they're doing and starting their own business, right?
Yeah, so someone who's a good follower, but might not be a good leader.
Right. You look for a soldier, not a general.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it seems to be the thing people are most concerned about is that either the person's not driven enough, or if they are really driven, they're more of the entrepreneurial type, and they're worried they're going to take that business, then go start their Amazon business that you've taught them. So you're trying to find someone, you're saying, that's just a super hard worker that doesn't necessarily have that entrepreneurial drive to go take it on their own. They just want a reliable paycheck type thing and know what to do and when to do it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he, you know, our scouter told us straight up, he's like, I just want to get paid for the day. I want to go, I want to find books and get paid for it. And that's it. He doesn't care. He works a weird schedule. He works, he's like a nurse technician or something like that, or was. He actually just got fired. So he's working, which has worked out really, really good. But even before then, he would still go out 2-3 days a week, you know, sometimes on the weekends, but he would work like 12-hour shifts, 4 days a week. So that left 3 other days wide open for him. And he's a hungry guy. He likes to always be working, always wants to make money, but he's not interested in starting his own business. Well, once I started to run him through kind of like what we did and what we do, and the moment I started talking about paying for apps and software, he's like, no, just pay me and I'll find the book. Give me the tools, I'll go find them, and you pay me for them. Sounds good.
Yeah, it's the Uber model. People like to do the work, then get paid that night, and then go home and not think about it anymore, right? Just find people that are attracted to that style of work.
Sure. And no, it's not going to work for everybody. You know, some people are like that. Some people will make it seem like they're like that, and really they're just lazy. And then, you know, you'll find that real quick because they're not getting you any books. You know.
Yeah.
I will say one thing though, that this is one of the most popular questions that we get asked on Instagram. For some reason or the other, we get a ton of messages all the time from people looking to get into it or people looking for advice, and we're happy to. Yeah.
Oh no, go on.
We're happy to reciprocate the information that we've gotten from everybody else. And
I was just gonna say we're still so new too, so we're still trying to find our formula too. So, you know, I often tell people there's no one right answer.
Yeah.
Like this is what we do, but find what works for you.
And you know, that is one of the questions that we get asked the most is, hey, how did you find your scouter? How are you paying? Are you paying them hourly? Are you paying them by the book? And I remember in one of the million videos that I've watched you and Caleb do, and that I've forced her to watch as well.
Living room. As I'm cleaning up, Caleb is there talking.
Caleb, if you're back there, you're a regular personality in our house. So people do ask us all the time, and I definitely feel like finding a scouter is a lot more difficult and a lot more challenging than finding a lister. And Caleb was I think it was one of the Q&As that you guys were doing on Thursday.
Yeah.
Someone was asking like, hey, I'm having a hard time finding a scouter. And Caleb's like, why are you trying to find a scouter? Find a lister instead. And you go out there and scout and do the cherry picking, which is if I had to pick one job to do out of everything that we do, I'll cherry pick. It's fun.
Yeah.
Right. The thrill of the hunt, right? The treasure hunt. Right. It is fun, especially when her and I do it together. But if you're looking to outsource that, I think that might be a mistake, especially for somebody who's just getting started. If you're looking to scale and you're looking for some help, maybe look for a lister, because it's easier to train somebody to list. I think it'll be easier to find a lister. And then this will limit how many bad book buys or bad decisions that a relative new scouter will make. If you know what you're looking for and you're trusting Scout IQ and you've got your triggers set up correctly to mimic and to, you know, complement your business model, I think that should be the last job that you should outsource. Do that yourself, because if you have a lister and you have a scouter, then what the hell are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
You know, are you just that lazy? You just want it to be on complete autopilot and just sit back and count money?
Too soon.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work. You know, not yet. You got to put in the time. You got to earn your stripes. You know, but that's my advice. Only because we've had so many more issues trying to hire scouters as opposed to hiring listers.
Well, yeah, that was going to be my next question for you guys. Where did you start outsourcing first? So listing, like you said, I love that you laid it out. It makes more sense. It's more of a repetitive thing. And like you said, they're not getting the buys themselves. You're going to limit those bad buys. You'll get a lot of times from new scouters that don't know the info they're looking at. So you guys, did you start by hiring a lister first for your business? That the first hire you guys made, or the scouter the very first hire?
The
Yep.
Scout,
Okay.
the Scout was the first one, yeah.
Do you have 2 listers now, you said, right?
I'll let her.
2, yeah. Well, we have 3, but I'm getting rid of one.
It happens.
Do you want me to delay this interview going out for a couple days?
Yeah, she has no idea about Hello Kitty. She's not watching it.
Yeah, we have 2 listers. I'm actually gonna go train one tonight. I trained her last week. I'm gonna train her again today.
Okay, so you have people listing for you now and you have someone scouting for you now. So your guys' time is able to be now devoted kind of to either managing the scaling of your business inside your warehouse and also finding other sources, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we also have a driver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we also have a driver, but he's taking a temporary leave of absence because he just had
A
hernia surgery. Not book related, not business. We're not getting sued for him lifting up a heavy box.
He's also a Muay Thai fighter.
He's one of my fighters, so he
Okay.
does some part-time work, and he's a really good employee. I mean, excellent. Always shows up on time, and like, you know, I don't have to manage him that much. So I've been doing the driving because I don't want to replace him. We were gonna hire another driver, but
He kept saying, "Oh, that guy's stupid. That guy's stupid." I don't know. I'm like, go hire him.
like I said before, we just bought a cargo van. I don't want anybody driving and banging up our cargo van. So I'm just driving myself right now, just a couple days a week until our guys made a full recovery, so I can just give him back the job because he's really good, and I want to protect our our employees and make sure that just because he had a little bit of surgery, I'm not going to get rid of him.
Yeah. So then someone's brand new, they're still cherry picking, but they want to scale. What's the first piece of advice you give them? We've already talked about kind of outsourcing listers and sourcing and finding bulk and building relationships. What's the very first step you'd give to someone wanting to get past just the cherry picking by themselves, doing all the listing by themselves every day?
Let's take a step back even beyond that.
All right.
Her and I, we're on all the Facebook groups. We're on your group. We're on Avery's. We're on Reezy's Facebook and stuff. But we don't really interact too much on Facebook just because the communities are a little different.
A little different, yeah.
I tend to find there's a lot more. You get a lot more people who reciprocate on Instagram rather than Facebook. And on Facebook, we tend to see a lot of potential new sellers who are. I hope I don't offend anybody, but they're just they seem lazy. A lot of people are just trying to jump into it without doing any research, without doing any homework, and without doing any due diligence. Like, you'll see people posting for the first time on Facebook, "Hey, I went to Savers and I spent $300 or $400 on all these books," with no scouting software, no like rhyme or reason to it. They're just like, "I just bought every book that Amazon was selling that was more than $10."
They put their foot in their mouth.
And I see that, and I'm like, why did you do that? Oh my God, I bought like all these like Tom Clancy novels that are not going to sell on FBA.
They went straight to paperback fiction, bought everything.
So anybody, just before we made our first book purchase, I think we did a month and a half or almost 2 months of watching every single one of your videos and watching every single one of Caleb's videos. I watched
just research.
Homework. I had podcasts and videos playing in the car while I was driving. We had it while she was cooking. We had it playing on our big screen TV. Just every single chance that we had, we were immersing ourselves in every single bit of content that was out there. And yet we watched bad content, really good content, mediocre content. And once we were able to kind of familiarize ourselves a little bit, we were able to kind of set aside, okay, all this is fluff, and these guys right here kind of definitely know what they're talking about. And then we just really I watched every single one of your 100 book challenge videos. Your other partner, I forget his name. Is it John?
Oh yeah, John Troutman. Yeah.
All his videos. I watched every single one of. So did she. All of Caleb's videos, and we really
And we watched a lot of Reezy videos.
Yeah. All the videos helped us too.
Those were helpful.
Yeah, Avery. We discovered Avery, and we just did our homework. That's what we really did. So when we bought our first book, we knew, okay, this is gonna sell or has a really good potential for selling.
Yeah, so people think, people say, oh, it's so easy to make so money and all this and that. But yeah, in a way it is easy, but at the same time, you have to do a lot of homework and research before you start it, so that, if you don't do that, and it's not going to be easy.
Yeah. So how did you guys get out of the cycle? Some people I know have also go to the other extreme where they get in the cycle of they have to learn everything before they get started. They never take action. Where was that cutoff point for you? Like, all right, we know enough. Let's just go start taking action.
That's just his personality.
Okay, so that's just, you just love to know exactly what you're doing, which end is up, and then figure it out and go from there first. And that's kind of your game plan from the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. We wanted to limit how many mistakes we made. I mean, we all know what's the best way to learn is to make mistakes. And the good thing about books is that since they don't cost that much money, or you can get them for relatively cheap or free, you're not making that big of a mistake if you just, if you go into it and just kind of wet your toes, wet your feet work first. Like where I was mentioning, some of those people on Facebook were spending hundreds of dollars at Savers, paying full price, $3.99 a book, with no coupons, no codes, not going on the day off where it's 50% off, or all this other things. And
every decision we've made, especially on spending money or something, we've made really calculated decisions. We don't just do it. We sit on it, think about it for like a week, try to find better deals or whatnot. And if we can't, then we go with the best decision.
We don't make any hasty decisions.
Yeah.
All of our decisions are very data driven, and we put a lot of thought and effort. When we, I'm not talking about this book. You sit on it for a week. No. We're talking about big buying decisions. Directions of where we want to take the company and sourcing and all that other stuff. That's really what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, I love that. You guys are very future driven because like you said from the very beginning when you got into this, you're looking for something that you could scale up and kind of automate. So from the very beginning, even when you started cherry picking, I like that you guys kind of already had in mind where you were going. And I'm sure that's helped tremendously along that path of knowing what's next because you already had in your mind what you were shooting for.
Sure. Absolutely, man.
So what's next for the Hello Kitty empire then? Where are you guys going next?
Well, we have a bottleneck at the do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So like right now it's funny because every time we scale and we get bigger, it's creating other issues and other aspects of our business. Nothing bad, obviously, but like
always scaling always creates issues.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a few weeks ago I was on your live Q&A on Thursday, and I was asking, hey guys, we're at a point right now where we could certainly benefit from having a standalone warehouse or a bigger vehicle to do our bulk pickups, right?
I remember that.
We were a little bit kind of on the fence of where to go. And I remember asking you guys, and you guys gave us good advice. And I reached out to Dave Chung, who's been a huge help. Dave is such an awesome guy, right? Like
he's a really awesome guy.
He held another meetup in New York a couple months ago, and we went and we met him again because we met him in April at Brush Proof Live, and he's helped us. He gave us a lot of advice because he's one of the big players out by you guys. And we ended up going with the vehicle, which was the best decision we could have made because a bigger vehicle, the cargo van, is going to help us bring in more volume. Now, it seems like it was almost instantly. We went from like, okay, we have decent amount of volume coming in that we can handle and we can manage, and we're processing and sending into FBA and donating and doing a lot of other things with the books that we get that are coming in. And now it's created a huge bottleneck in we're currently working out of a 10 by 30 storage unit and a small 1,000 square foot warehouse at one of my gyms. The issue with the warehouse at my gym is that it's in a basement.
So you're gonna go up and down the stairs.
So I don't need to tell you the challenges.
Yeah.
I immediately bought a back brace, and it doesn't help. So
don't do back brace; doesn't help you.
Yeah, it does. I mean, get it, but it's not gonna help you when you're going up flights of stairs with pallets and boxes of heavy ass books.
Oh yeah.
Right now, the next step for us is to get a standalone warehouse that has preferably a docking bay, but we can manage without the docking bay as long as it has the garage bay doors.
Yeah.
Because it's really holding us back and hindering what we do with our duds, and then being able to, we're working with Bill on selling back books in bulk and stuff like that. So if we had more space right now, we'd probably double our business in a month, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, that's a good place to be in. Like, even though it's causing issues, that you guys know you have the volume, now you just need to expand. Well, I think a lot of people maybe go the other way around. They think if they expand, they'll automatically get more volume, then they have more expensive, more space, then the volume doesn't come like they're expecting, right?
Exactly. You know, and for anybody also, I know there's a lot of people on Facebook on the groups talking about, hey guys, where can I get Gaylords? Where can I get Gaylords? A lot of people want to get into Gaylords, right? But like, I don't think they realize the massive challenge that comes along with. I mean, it's really attractive, right? You could buy 1,000 books for $30 or $20 or $50.
Yeah, especially if you're used to scanning books and buying a couple here, a couple there. Yeah.
Right. But that's not the case. You have to have them. Most places that you're going to buy Gaylord from won't deliver. You got to set it up yourself. So you either got to hire a logistics company to come pick them up, rent the truck yourself, which takes time and backbreaking labor. And again, it's really attractive. Oh my God, I got thousands of books coming in, but you need to have a plan. You need to have a way to get rid of the Gaylords, rid of the duds, or monetize them, or get rid of them in an ethical way, right?
Yeah.
And again, everything just brings challenges with every single aspect of growth and scaling your business, you know. But I think that's probably one of the reasons why we've been so successful, is because we've, you know, planned everything out. We don't just see a deal and jump on it. We've done that before, but never did it again.
It's the worst mistake ever.
Yeah.
I think we still have the aftermath of that in our garage, or the carport or whatever.
God.
I don't know what to do.
Most of it's gone, but you know, it is what it is. Like you have to make sure that you have a plan for everything, because the last thing you want is to be sitting on 8 Gaylords of duds. We're talking about 8,000 books and no way to get rid of them ethically. You know, like we're having an issue here in our country with paper recycling, and a lot of paper recyclers aren't taking books, and a lot of people are turning them away. There's been times before we got this deep into bulk where we would go to Goodwill or Salvation Army to drop off books, and they have a sign at the donation center saying, "No books. We're not taking anything." You know, so it brings on challenges, and I think that it's important to have not a backup plan, but have a means to get them in, and also a means to get them out in an efficient way. You know, it's all about efficiency. It's all about making sure that you're not wasting a lot of time and putting too much time into something that's not going to help you grow or make money, you know?
Yeah, I definitely think that's the most overlooked thing by people just getting the bulk, is that what the heck do you do with the duds? People they don't think about the after part, and that's a huge issue. Like you said, it's going to be most of the books are going to be duds. So you're going to have to figure out what to do with all those pallets. Yeah, that's a big issue for most people.
We're talking about Amazon sellers and FBA and being booksellers, but like, to be totally honest, the way that our business has been growing, and the route and the direction that it's taking, it's almost like our Amazon business is like an afterthought right now. We barely even talk about or even put a lot of time or effort into the actual selling part of the business, just because we have a brand for our book pickups. We're doing book pickups, right? But it isn't just that. We're doing book pickups. We're utilizing, and we've created a network, and we're utilizing that network to its fullest potential in order to get books to come to us. And aside, still doing cherry picking, and we have a scouter as well. So we're bringing in books from every avenue and every direction, you know? So being that we always had a tremendous amount of excess books that we couldn't do anything, especially for FBA, we started thinking, okay, what can we do with these books? First, we try to monetize them. We all know that that's nearly impossible or really hard.
Or very time consuming, so it's not worth the few cents you might,
Exactly. So, you know, like, all of our numbers match exactly all the numbers that you guys have been putting out in all your content and all your videos, right? Like keeper rates, our ASP, turn rates, all that stuff. It's been identical and right in line with what you guys have always been preaching, which tells us that, hey, we're doing the right thing, and obviously we're making money. So, you know, when we're doing books in bulk, whether you're doing Gaylords, whether you're buying pallets of book, which we've done as well, and we still do, whether you're buying wholesale or whatever it is, again, you're still always going to be looking at that 5 to 10%, right, for FBA, correct? And it doesn't matter how good the source is. It's always, ultimately, we've only been doing this 7-8 months, it's been 10%. So you buy one, let's say you buy one Gaylord, that's 1,000 books. You're listing or keeping 100. What are you going to do with the other 900? So obviously that was a dilemma for us. And right away, I'm looking at all these books, and I started to get, you know, a flashback of when I was serving in the Marine Corps. I did a tour in Afghanistan. I had one Tom Clancy novel. I was there for 4.5 months. One book. I read it, passed it around to all my friends, came back to me. What the hell? Let's read it again one more time. Why not? Got nothing else better to do.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at all these books and I'm like, wow, man, if only my unit and myself had even half of these books, we'd be entertained for days, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we started looking into, hey, let's see if we can help the military. Let's see if, obviously I'm a Marine Corps veteran and I wanted to help out, you know, people in that sector, in that social group. So right now what we're doing is that we're taking books and we're shipping them overseas to active duty military. And we're also donating a tremendous amount of books to nonprofits here locally that we can't ship overseas, because you can't ship every single book overseas, right? So our brand,
That's awesome.
our brand for our book pickups and our bulk model is geared towards using my military experience and also my network within the military. So we just find that we get a lot of people that reciprocate a lot with us, being that they know that we're donating and supporting active duty military and veterans. And again, this is something that I do because I'm a veteran, but
Yeah.
there's a ton of different ways that you can go about doing something similar, right? It doesn't have to be military. You can have your own distinguishing factor that's going to set you aside from the competition. So, you know, long story short, that's kind of where all of our efforts and all of our attention is going towards, is expanding on that. And then the actually selling books is kind of like a side thing for us at this point, to be totally honest, because, you know, we want to do the right thing. We're getting a lot of free books from, you know, locally, out of state, from libraries, from other nonprofits, from universities, from schools, from recyclers. We're getting books in every single avenue. And, you know, we've given these people our word that we're going to take these books and we're going to put them to good use. And then ultimately they're not going to end up in the landfills.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much like where the Hello Kitty empire is heading, right? We're also talking about and looking into restructuring our business, potentially going into social enterprise, creating our own nonprofit. You know, again, there's a lot of challenges and a lot of work that goes into that. So that's kind of something that we've been a new project that we've been kind of focusing on a little bit. But I think that's really the route that we're heading. Think of us as Better World Books, but with the military angle. That's exactly what we're doing, to be honest.
That's really cool. I like how you phrased it that way, because like you said, 10% at most is going to be going to Amazon. So 90% of your business is going to be devoted to something else. And so I like that you incorporated your own experience, and it wasn't just you're throwing some money at a nonprofit here, but you're like, I had this need while I was in the military. I know other people do too, and kind of working that into your business model. That's awesome. I love that. I wish more people were doing something like that.
You know, it helps us sleep at night. And this is something that she really, because we're both working full time for this, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, for the amount of hours that we're putting in now compared to what we're getting paid, look, we're making money, but I mean, we're making less than minimum wage between the both of us, right? Because we're both putting in 50 hours each a week, maybe more.
Yeah.
I'm a social work background, and me switching my career to this, like, I need something that's purposeful. Like, I can't just sell books. So we decided on this. This fulfills me.
Yeah. And you know, we're able to help a lot of people. We're helping active duty military by putting free books in their hands.
And we're not going to just stop there. We want to expand, you know, who we help.
Yeah. So, you know, we donate a lot to a lot of like the local nonprofits who support veterans and stuff like that. And it just, and also what we're helping people who we're picking up books from. A lot of them are like old ladies who can't. Sometimes I'll get calls. Can you help me? I have 500 books in my basement. I can't. I'm 90 years old. I can't get. No problem. I'll go and I'll help her out. I'll break my back, or I'll send the driver to go break his back to go pick up these books. And they're so grateful just because the books are being repurposed and they're not going to end up in the trash.
Yeah.
And you know, just it's so rewarding just to look at the look on someone's face when they know that all of their books or all of the things that they're donating are going to get repurposed and reused, and, you know, going to be put in the hands of somebody who deserves them and who needs it, you know?
That's awesome. So people that are listening to this that are maybe booksellers right now and they really like what you're talking about of putting their duds and stuff like that to good use and repurposing them, is there a way they can get on board with you guys and what you're doing, or do you recommend they just find something that's meaningful to them and try and figure that out as it relates to their own life and business? Or how can people help you guys out in this business you're doing?
Yeah, that's a good question. I certainly think that anybody who's looking to do something similar, that you should find something that you're passionate about, right? Whether it's the environment, whether it's you know, repurposing books, or you know, recycling, or whatever it is. There's always some kind of angle that you can incorporate into your book business. Whether you're doing bulk, whether you're doing cherry picking, I think you need to find something that's going to resonate with people, that you're passionate about, right? Don't just make something up, because you know, if you're BSing people, they're going to find out sooner than later.
Yeah, so you
know?
want to be genuine.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it has to be something
and
close,
transparent. Yep.
yeah, so it has to be close to your heart.
Yeah, I think that if you can incorporate your passion or something that you're passionate about into reselling or into, you know, this book business, that you'll be able to get in front of the decision maker a lot easier. And if people see and feel your passion and know that you're being straight up with them, that you're going to get a lot more people reciprocating and trying to help you out. As far as anybody watching this, if you're a bookseller, don't send us your duds. Okay, don't pick up your duds. Remember that we're using the books, the money that we're making from selling books on Amazon, to pay for shipping. We're funding this whole thing on our dime. There's this whole donation side of our business. We're not taking money donations. People have offered, "Oh, do you want money?" No, we don't want people's money. We don't want your money. If you have books and they're sitting on your shelf or sitting in a box in a basement somewhere and you don't want them, we'll take them. We'll put them to good use. And again, it's pricey when you're sending books overseas, or you're just mailing.
And it's time consuming.
Yeah,
So
it really is.
I think out of all the aspects in our business, that part is the most time consuming. Yeah, I need a whole staff just for that.
Yeah, and we're certainly backed up on a lot of things, but we're trying to pump out as many books as we can. And yeah, so back to your question, like anybody who's looking to do something similar, I think definitely find something that's important to you, and see if you can merge those two things with your book selling business. And I'm sure, look, you get creative, because every single thing that we're doing, we did not come up with. We're not reinventing the wheel here. We got the idea to do book pickups from Nathan Holmquist, who was a speaker at Busproof Live, and Caleb talking about it as well, right? But they were doing it completely different than what we were doing. I think Nathan put out ads in a newspaper. That's what he was doing. He was putting out ads in a newspaper. I think he's from Florida, and he was doing it down there with ads in a newspaper. And like, I would never put in an ad in a newspaper. I can't even tell you the last time I even picked one up, you know? But again, I got inspired by that, and we brought it back home, and we incorporated our own little twist into it, and we made it ours. You know, we're doing it completely different from everybody else, but again, every single thing that we're doing, we got inspiration from you guys and from other booksellers. So get creative. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy with your marketing. Don't be lazy with stealing people's ideas. And I'm glad I brought this up, because this has happened more often than not. People see we have ads on Facebook, but that's not all we're doing. That's not our primary source. We're sourcing from everywhere. Using networking, FaceTime, on the phone, all that stuff, right? But we do have an ad on Facebook Marketplace, and it's happened 3 times already, where people will just copy and paste. I mean, word for word, even my grammatical errors. I forgot to put an apostrophe on something. And word for word, even use the same damn picture that I'm using. And then message me, "Hey man, I got inspired by your thing. I hope you don't mind. I'm using your post."
Yeah, we don't mind
using the post. Come on, man. You know, like, look, we're in New York. There's books and opportunities here for everybody. And I don't mind if you get a little inspiration, use a little kind of the wording that I'm using. No problem. But don't be that lazy and just copy and paste, drag and click, and same exact thing.
We will find you.
It happens in software too, right?
Yeah. I mean, get creative. I mean, put your own little spin on it. You'll get people to support you, as long as you're genuine and you're actually, you know, trying to do.
Yeah, be real.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And stop stealing our stuff.
Well, yeah, thank you guys so much for sharing all that and being so open. I really appreciate when other sellers are so open about what they're doing and helping other people out. I feel like, especially in these communities, way too often I see people trying to hold back and hold all their secrets, and they think if they let their one thing they're doing out, that everyone's going to copy it and they're going to lose all their business. Like you guys have said over and over again, there are so many books out there. Even the bigger sellers among us don't even make a dent in how many books are out there just in the United States alone and opportunities and stuff. So
Sure.
I love it when people are open and transparent, like you guys have been. And I really like your mission. Like most people just, it's all about the selling the books, making profit, and then just getting rid of the duds they can. I like that you guys have another mission and purpose besides your business. And I think that'll help you guys scale a lot more because you have that. And like you said, people can see your passion when you're talking to them. I can hear it right now just over this video chat, much less sharing that with people when you're out there and talking to people. So I love that. You guys are definitely on the right path with this. And I know your business is going to get a lot bigger than it is right now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you.
But a lot of this passion is derived from the 2 coffees that I had just before. I'm a little wired, but
coffee helps too. All right. There's no shame in that.
yeah. But I'm glad you brought up what you were saying before about being transparent and putting all this information out there. I think it was Gary Vee that said, like, if somebody asked him, why are you putting out all this free content and all your free information? And someone at the Busproof Live mentioned it as well. Like, 90% of the people listening to stuff aren't going to follow our advice. And, for a lot of different reasons. Mainly, our model is not going to be good for everybody, right? But, if follow the information that's out there from reputable sources, because if you do and you do things correctly, you will be successful. Absolutely.
Definitely. So people are listening to this. How can they follow you guys with your journey? If they want to get in contact with you, can they ask you guys questions? How can they get in touch with you?
Man, we spend a considerable amount of time answering questions on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram is the best way. Then, we both have access to the account. Sometimes it's him replying, sometimes it's me. You'll never know who.
You'll never know who you're talking about. If it sounds like a 17-year-old Japanese girl, stop asking questions. Our Instagram account was hijacked. We have Instagram. That's probably the best way. On Facebook, we just kind of interact as our personal. We have no YouTube. We have no intentions on doing a YouTube. We have no intentions on ever becoming YouTube personalities.
Or anything.
No, that's not for us. I see all the hate that everyone else gets, and I'm the type of person to find you and come show up at your house.
Just gotta mute the comments. The comments.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time answering a lot of people's questions on Instagram.
We're trying to get to everybody. If we don't, we're very sorry. We're just so busy.
But here's another thing. If you're gonna reach out to us, a lot of times we get people who we've never interacted with before. And instead of messaging like you would a normal person, oh, hey, how's it going? My name is this. Been following you guys for a while. They just say, how much you pay your scouter?
Oh, yeah, he hates that.
What if I just walked into some random lawyer's office and just kicked down his door and said, hey, how much you paying your paralegal? I get the fuck on me, right? I get beaten up probably, right?
But, I like that.
It is social media, but be mindful, be courteous, say hi. We have no issues answering questions. Again, we're not pros or anything like that, but any help that we can give someone who's inspired by us or someone who needs a little bit of help, ask away, but say hi. And another thing, you send us a message and it just says, hey, I want to sell books. Can you run me through the whole process? You're not gonna get an answer from us.
Yeah, sometimes you get questions it's obvious that this person's lazy. We're not gonna answer to those because we don't have time.
Sorry, I can't run you through the past 8 months of trial and error. Figure it out. You know what I tell them? You know what I say?
If you do your homework, you'll be asking us different questions. Let's say that.
My automatic response is follow the book flipper and do everything those guys do to the T, and you're gonna be good. That's what I tell people, honestly.
Hey, that's good advice. And you can just give it off, pass it off there, and then they go and ask the book flipper those same questions. How much you pay your scouter?
I'll pass you. Hey, talk to Caleb and talk to Matthew.
So anytime you get one of those questions now, I just want you to say, hey, that would be a great question for at the book flipper. Go ask him that question. Just got to pass it off there. Well, thank you guys so much for doing this interview with me. I will put their link to their Instagram in the description below so you guys can contact them. And if any of you guys start incorporating kind of this nonprofit type thing into your business or giving books away and stuff like that, I'm sure they'd love it if you share that with them and show them what causes books are going to and let them know you're inspired by them. Just don't copy their ad word for word, right?
Yeah, just
and everything will be good.
Just personalize it.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I had somebody on Instagram a while ago that somehow found my phone number and messaged me personally.
Oh my God.
Don't do that. I'm very
She's
private about my life.
We had somebody else call. I don't know how they
I
did
don't know
that.
how.
God bless them.
People find information in
No
weird
idea.
ways.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, Reezy said the other day someone had messaged him with his home address and told him they know where he lives. And it's like, I'm sure in one of his videos somewhere he had like a street sign or something. Someone figured out, but someone messaged him with his home address and said, "I know where you live." It's like,
That's scary, man.
Yeah.
That's scary. I mean, we're all about transparency, but you got to draw the line, right? Like, you
Gotta draw the line somewhere.
Should I just tell everybody my social security number?
All right, well, off topic a little bit. Thank you guys so much for being on here. Appreciate talking with you and sharing everything. I'm sure you guys will have a lot more people reaching out and asking those questions on Instagram. So thank you guys.
Dude, thanks for having us.
Thank
This has
you.
been like something that we've been looking forward to. I know we've been paying a little phone tag because we're all busy and stuff, but we appreciate you guys having us on. And real quick, we just want to give a couple shout outs to a bunch of people who have helped us out. First and foremost, you and Caleb, absolutely, because without you guys, we would not be anywhere near where we are. We probably would have quit, honestly.
Yeah.
It's confusing, right? Selling on Amazon.
Yeah.
Really, with all the content that you guys put out there, it made
really helped us.
it made everything manageable, and made everything like, we put everything into layman's terms, and being able to understand everything really helped a lot. Obviously Reezy, and a few people. I don't know half these people's names because we just know their Instagram, right?
Yeah, just shout out the Instagram name.
Wait, his name is probably Mike.
His name is Mike, yeah.
Dave Chung.
Dave Chung, Romer the
Avery.
Romer. Yeah, Avery's been awesome. There's another guy on Instagram, couponing.
Oh yeah,
Right?
I don't know what his
Ramon.
Yeah,
I don't think I know them. I'll have to look that up.
Hippie Flipping. Did I say Hippie Flipping already?
Trevor.
Trevor,
Yeah,
Hippie Flipping.
thanks,
He's helped
Trevor.
us out a lot too.
Yeah.
Am I forgetting anybody? Oh, Latin Pickers.
Matt.
Latin Pickers.
Matt.
Which Matt?
The guy from last week. The e-commerce.
Oh, Matt Adolph. Yo, Matt
Oh,
Adolph. Yeah.
My World Econ.
My World Econ. That guy's awesome, man. Lots of hustle, lots of inspirations. Thank you, everybody. If we're missing anybody, sorry. We'll get you on the next one.
Love that. I'll link to some of those people below too, so people can find those profiles. But yeah, thanks for shouting all those people out. It's been great having you guys on today.